Right. So, so again, these are the men who are saying that it's all men, okay? It's all men, and we need to listen to them. We need to listen to them until we get it on an instinctive level, so that we are no longer confused, so that we can reactivate what is real to the female biology. So we can reactivate the female instinct as it was designed in us.
Listen, all dudes are the same. All of us want one thing. We just got different ways of going about it. Don't sit.
So I said that men are all the same. Men are all, they all want something. They're all evil, right? There, you will find also many instances where they themselves say this, that men are evil. You will find that when you ask them certain questions, they tell you by the words that they use that they understand that men are evil. But they also want to come out and pretend that, oh no, except for me and except for many good men, all men are not evil, right? Because they need you to believe that. They need you to believe that so they can get you, so they can access you, so they can use you. They need to believe that. They need to know the actual truth so they can survive. Because it's going to be a man, it's going to kill them. It's not going to be a woman, it's going to be a man that's going to kill them. So they need it for their survival, but they don't want you to use it for your survival. They need to know the truth for their survival. So do you, but they don't want you to use it because that would also make their survivability less. So they want you to believe. So they want a situation where both realities are true. So that both realities are so that men are good, it's true for women, but men are evil, it's true for men. But you have to understand that if the fact that it's not true, it would not exist at all. If it is not true, all men are evil would not exist at all in any realm, especially with men themselves. It would not exist at all if it's not true. The reason it exists at all is because it is.
Sit there and think for 1 minute, for one moment, that man is different. He's not different.
Is this man saying that all men would cheat if given the same opportunity? Think about it. And I think what she's saying does make a whole lot of sense, because I've heard people say your partner is not cheating because of lack of opportunity. Given that opportunity, he will most likely cheat on you. So men don't stay faithful because they are good men. They are only faithful because they don't have opportunities. Think about it.
I mean, if we're being real about it, don't no man really want to be in a relationship. Only females care about being in a relationship.
It is all men. And I can immediately hear loads of people go, it's not all men, it's going to be the guy going, it's not all men, maybe a few women, because some have said it to me.
So I'm probably going to get a little bit of flack for this, but it is all men, and that includes myself.
Now, I need you to understand this, okay? This guy, he represents your quintessential Western male, right? Your quintessential Western male, which is supposedly the best male in the entire world. He is here telling you it's all of them. All the males are the same. They are all the same. They are all like the guys in Afghanistan. They are all like the guys in Sudan. They are all like the guys in China, in Vietnam, and all kinds of things. That's what he's saying. Which is exactly what I found. Which is exactly what I discovered. Right? That's what my research bore out too. I researched it from every angle. From a cultural angle, from a historical angle, from a religious angle, from from a biological angle, a psychological angle, every freaking angle possible. Yeah, it is all of them. Because it's the why that is the source of it. And anyone that has the why is going to behave this way.
Said it to me.
So I'm probably going to get a little bit of flack for this, but it is all men, and that includes myself. And until
you need to understand this. If this is not true, they would not be saying it at all. It would not even exist.
men collectively start to recognize that and start holding themselves accountable instead of having tantrums and gaslighting themselves and others like man children.
Hello fam, how are you all doing? I hope you all are good. I'm so sorry for taking a very long break because so busy, had a lot I needed to attend to. I hope everyone is good. Let's talk about this very controversial statement. It's all men. When people make such statements, there's always an argument about it. It's either women are supporting their men, saying their men are exceptions, or men getting aggressive, angered at the fact that the women that made such statements are generalizing according to them. So today, we will hear what men have to say. But before I get right into this very topic, I would love us to watch this video clip. It is this video clip that led to this conversation. Let's have a look.
I mean, if we're being real about it, don't no man really want to be in a relationship. Only females care about being in a relationship. If a man saying he want to be in a relationship, he lying like a motherfucker. That's what we do as men. We lie. Why do we lie?
Let me explain what's going on here, okay? Because I reviewed this video before, but I didn't say the entire gamut of what needed to be said, okay? So he's saying they want one thing, they don't want a relationship, right? And here's why. A relationship is a human thing. A relationship is a human thing. They do not want to live the lives of humans. They want to live the lives of what? Savages. Why? Because they are a virus origin organism that is mixed with human. So they are at best on the lower end of what that combination will have created, which is basically a wild beast. That is the life they really want to live. Because that is what they really are. That is where they're happiest. A relationship, however, is a female thing. So the relationship that you keep asking for, you are making them have to live like humans. And they don't want that. They like being the savage wild beasts. Anyone who tells you that they don't is a lie. This is what he's saying. They don't want a relationship because relationship is a human thing. Because we are a communal organism, but they are not communal. Do you understand that? If you look at viruses, right? The virus, it invades a whole cell. It replicates itself, to the millions and thousands of millions, right? But it doesn't go and take care of each one of those things, each one of those replication of it. It doesn't have to, right? It doesn't have to do that. That means that all the instinct that would come from that, all the instincts that would be needed to foundation that behavior, to support that behavior so that it can manifest, so that the behavior can happen, right? All the instincts, all the wirings to make that behavior occur, to entice women, to entice the organism to engage in that behavior. Because the reason you're engaging in behaviors is because you are enticed to engage in them, right? You're not engaging in this behavior just because, right? There is a network of communication, of instincts, of neurons, immune stuff, etc. to push you to engage in these behaviors, right?
Because all we want to do.
So when that is missing in them, that means they don't have the instinct to want that. That means they don't have the instinct to engage in those behaviors that are what? Communal. This is what he's saying. Why? Men don't want relationships, but they have to do it because that is what it takes to be, that is what it takes to, that is what it takes to propagate this con on women. You have to pretend to be one of them. They are pretending to be one of us, right? So they have to pretend to be, to at least be interested in relationships, right? And also the relationship gets them, it gets them the, the ass, right? So they want the relationship, right? Insofar as, but the part of it that they want is just the sex part. They want you to be, to say that you are in a relationship with them, but that there is no communication except for the sex part. That's what they want, which is that you are there just for him to plug. You're there just for him to plug and then go on his way, and then he can go find other females to plug. That is the ideal that they want. This is what they want.
That's it. That's all we really care about. And of course, no man's going to tell you the truth because that's not something that women really want to hear. Come on, now, let's be for real. You really think a man is going to approach you and be like, damn, you fine, I'm trying to fuck? No! Because we automatically know that's going to be a turn off for you. So we start doing little shit, getting to know you, take you out on dates, and really we be doing the bare minimum for real. Whatever we got to do to you ever went through your man's phone, went to his Instagram or his Facebook, and you see him liking this girl, loving this girl, heart emoji here, heart emoji there? You ever seen that shit? All those females you see them hearts on is who he wants to fuck. Relationships is your thing. Because that's the first fucking thing you ask. Well, if you like this.
I'm sorry, what did he say? Now, if you need to understand that, if you need to understand something, let it be this. My information is 100% on point. What did he say? Relationship is your thing. Ooh. Relationship is your thing. When I reviewed this guy the first time, I didn't even listen to all of his rant. I only took only a little bit. I didn't even know that he said that. Relationship is your thing. Relationship is a human thing. My information is on 100% because I spent so much time verifying it. I spent so much time looking at every angle to verify what I'm looking at because I felt like I was going crazy. I feel like I was going crazy with what I was seeing. So I had to verify from 1,000 different angles before believing it.
So much, why don't you go be with them? Because he doesn't want to be with them, he wants to fuck. And then we be to you ever went through your man's phone, went to his Instagram or his Facebook, and you see him liking this girl, loving this girl, heart emoji here, heart emoji there? You ever seen that shit? All those females you see them hearts on is who he wants to fuck. Relationships is your thing. You. So we start doing little shit. You ever went through your man's phone, went to his Instagram or his Facebook, and you see him liking this girl, loving this girl, heart emoji here, heart emoji there? You ever seen that shit? All those females you see them hearts on is who he wants to fuck. Relationships is your thing. Because
relationship is your thing. There's a reason why there's a mother-child relationship, right? And that is what said to be the best type of relationship, right? That is your thing because you are the one designed to care for your progeny. That is where relationships come from. You are the one designed to care for your progeny. It is not a mistake that these men abandoned their kids. I mean, your kids. They abandoned your kid that you thought, you had with them, but you actually had on your own, but he hijacked it. He hijacked it. Again, you have to understand that certain things, right? Certain things are only true if they were not true, you would not be saying these things. Certain things, if they were not true, saying these things would not even exist. This is 100% the absolute truth.
That's the first fucking thing you ask. Well, if you like them so much, why don't you go be with them? Because he doesn't want to be with them, he wants to fuck. And if we being honest, we really don't give a fuck about your looks. Y'all give a fuck about y'all look. We could care less. You don't believe me? I'm gonna prove y'all bitch wrong. Here's one example. A man will tell you, baby, you don't need all that makeup.
It's not true. They do care about looks. They do care about looks. Because the reason they're visual creatures, right? You've heard this many times. It's because they are not your species. Because So they can't tell you, they can't tell, they can't tell the qualities. They can't tell you the non-physical qualities of what makes a good woman, right? They can't tell you those things. And it's not because they are, it's not even because that they are like some kind of like a weird organism, right? It is because that is inherent in every organism, right? For instance, let's look at broccoli plants, right? If you pick a broccoli, this and that, would you be able to tell which one is which? Would you be able, if we did a switch around, right? Would you be able to tell which is which? Exactly. But those broccoli plants, they are different. They are very unique, but you can't tell because you are so far removed from them. Let's do another one. If you look at different cats, would you be able to tell which one is which? You would have to study them for a long, long, long time for you to be able to figure out which one, right? You would have to study them a long, 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 long time. The same thing. So when you heard about how white people are racist against black people and you can't tell them apart, etc., that wasn't actually racism. That part, it's actually two parts of that that's going on. There are two parts of it that's happening. The first part is this thing that I'm telling you about, which is that you can't tell organisms that are kind of far removed from your own, right? So it doesn't have to be that they have to be not human, right? It's that they have to be removed far enough for this to have a difference, right? They have to be removed far enough to have a difference, right? So white people, what's going on there is that they can't recognize black faces because they're not used to black faces. Because they're not used to black faces, they can't really pick out which is which, quickly. But where the racism comes in, right? Where the racism comes in and why it became a racist thing, right? It's because they were weaponizing it. If you couldn't tell, because they were, every time that you needed to know this information was when, there was a crime at foot, right? So instead of telling them saying, it's a black person, it's a black person, but I really couldn't really tell, what he looked like. I couldn't be able to tell you, right? They do this thing where they say, oh, it's a black person, right? Because that's the only thing they could pick up. But the problem is, and that's not even the racist part. The racist part is that the police then weaponize that and they use it to attack every black person that they see. Yeah. Instead of even like doing a thing where they investigate, they investigate to get more information, right? Because a black person is a clue. If it's just a clue, you need more information. And it's not because of the race, right? If anyone told you it's an Asian person, you're gonna need to know what gender, right? What gender is this Asian person, right? What age, right? What's the age range, right? You would need more information, but the police never bothered to do that. That's how it became a racist thing, right? Before that, it's not a racist thing. They go and arrest people based on that information is just a black person. Which is ridiculous, right? That's how it became a racist thing. It's not actually a racist thing. So the reason they tell you that they're visual creatures is that they can't tell. They cannot tell your inequalities, your non-physical qualities, right? Of how to determine whether you're good or not, because they're not human. So they can't tell. So they can't tell you apart otherwise, unless they use the physical thing. The same thing if you're looking at mice, you won't be able to tell which is which. You won't be able to tell which one is male or female. You won't be able to tell. The same if you're looking at fish, you will never tell if is a female or a male. Exactly. This is an actual biological thing. But the fact that they have to tell you that men are visual creatures, right? And not actually confess to you what was actually going on. It's how you know that what they're up to is diabolical. Why wouldn't you be able to tell? You know, we might have problems identifying who's who, right? How come they don't tell you that? Because they don't want you to know that they're not, something is not right with them. They don't want you to know that something is not right with them. What's happening? What is this?
Eyelashes, that lipstick, you pretty as you are. Now, I know when women do that, it's just something that they do for themselves. But we don't give a fuck about all that. You could be the prettiest woman in the whole motherfucking world and get cheated on by the ugliest woman in the whole motherfucking world. And because women care about relationships, the first thing you're going to say is, well, if you're going to sleep with her, why you just don't be with her? And what he going to say? Can you guess? Can you guess? I'll tell you, bitch. He's going to say, I don't want to be with her. I just want to fuck. Because we don't care about relationships and marriages. Now, if you are very attractive, that means that man want to fuck more. If you're not that attractive, that means he want to fuck you less. But either way, we're going to fuck. Just like poly relationship. You don't hear a man on this motherfucker talking about some, oh, poly relationships isn't just about sex, it's about such. No, because we're just trying to. Now we got two women in the house that we can fuck. In case one don't feel like giving it up, I can go to next. And if we being real about it, poly relationships ain't nothing but cheating with permission. Why y'all think we glorify hoes more than we glorify good women? Because good women boring as fuck. But that one over there giving us that eye candy, oh, we're going to take.
And here's another way that you know that this is, that they're not supposed to be part of the human experience at all. They're not even supposed to exist in this human form that they are in.
I tell you, bitch, he's gonna say, I don't want to be with her. I just want to fuck. Because we don't care about her, means he want to fuck you less. But either way, we're gonna fuck. Just like poly relationship. You don't hear a man on this motherfucker talking about some, oh, poly relationships isn't just about sex, it's about such. No, because we're just trying to. Now we got two women in the house that we can fuck. In case one don't feel like giving it up, I can go to next. And if we.
There you go. The poly relationship that he's talking about, okay? The poly relationship that he is talking about. Let me tell you about that one, okay? The birth ratio for males and females is 1-to-1. That means that if there are men doing poly relationships, and I promise you exactly like it says, every man wants a poly relationship, which means if every man gets a poly relationship, there is not even enough women to go around. Which means that what? Half of the males won't even have any woman. Do you see that everything that they keep saying is part of their biology does not fit in with what was created as, as females? Everything they're telling us is their biology doesn't fit with that which is human. If every man gets a poly relationship, no one gets a female. Excuse me, half of them gets a female. Only half gets a female, and no one, and half of them do not get any. Which means that what's going to happen? What is actually going to happen? They are going to fight each other for those females. And what's going to happen when they fight each other? Excuse me, they are going to reduce their own population. Which tells you that what? Male existence is not natural, because you wouldn't have to fight. You wouldn't have to get into a fight to get what you need to survive. You would not have to fight to get what you need to survive. They would have to do a war. Actually, excuse me, I misspoke. You would not have to fight your own species to get what you need. Sometimes I be spitting the game. You would not have to fight your own species to get what you need to survive. Because if you were going to fight your own species, you would just make less of you. It would be far more efficient to just make less of you so that there is enough to go around, so that you won't have to fight. That means if males were actually our species, there would be less of them so that they could all do poly, because they all want poly. Yeah. Muhammad talks about, excuse me, no, I don't know if it's Muhammad, but there's, Islam talks about 17 virgins in heaven. You would get 17 virgins in heaven. Let's calculate how many there are. How many that is, right? There are what, 2 billion people practicing there are 2 billion people practicing Islam, right? Let's say half of those guys. Let's say half of that are males, right? That means you would need 17 billion males. Excuse me, you would need 17 billion women to 1 billion males in heaven for each one to get 17 virgins. 17 billion to 1. That is a ratio of what? 5%. So that means that there should be 5%, according to what they say they want. There should be 5.8% of males to females. So that means that the entire population of males should only be 5% males. Actually, it's not. No, that's not how that works. No. Hold on a second. It's actually less than that. Yeah, it's about 5%. Yeah, it's going to be 5.8% males. That should be 5.8% of males in the entire population of humans. Every time they tell you about this poly nonsense, remember this. Poly, them wanting poly means there's far too many of them. The problem is that, but the reason the birth ratio worked out like it did is one, because of mass, is one, because of, the natural law of mass production, which is it mass production? No, the natural law of probabilities. The natural law of probabilities, which is if you have 2 options of things, right? You can either be tall or you can be short, and there's no in between, right? That means 50% of you would be tall, 50% of you would be short. Let's look at another one. If you have an option of let's see, what else we have options of? What do we have options of? What do we have options of? Skin is a it's a wavelength, right? Skin color is a wavelength. It's not an option, right? But let's say that there's an option. You could be either white or you could be black. Then 50% will be black and 50% will be white. That works. So, and whatever the wavelength is, right? Whatever the wavelength is, I'm forgetting the word. The rainbow, right? Whatever it is, that means that you would have like the same amount of people fitting the same range. The same amount of people fitting the same exact range. That means that no matter how many, how much how much detail, how much granular you take, let's say height, for instance, no matter how granular you take it, you will find people at each range. You'll find about the same amount of people at each range of height, right? Because it is an equal distribution of all the options that are possible, right? So if there's an X and Y, if there is X and Y, yeah, for a man to dispense, that means that they would about equally be dispensed. They would about equally be dispensed. Barring that there are other things that affect the dynamic of what gets dispensed. That's how the birth ratio turns out to be 50-50. So if there's a third gender, right? If there's a third gender, there would be what? Again, another distribution of 3.3% across the board. So there will be about 33% of each one of the third gender of three genders. That's why there are 50% females and 50% males. But something else actually affects it. Something else actually affects it. That's why the ratio is slightly skewed towards males. But it is about 1-to-1. It is about 1-to-1. It's about 1-to-1 ratio.
We being real about it. Poly relationships ain't nothing but cheating with permission. Why y'all think we glorify hoes more than we glorify good women? Because good women boring as fuck. But that one over there giving us that eye candy, oh, we going da 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 da. And since we being real, most of y'all women are open book anyway. Like, come on, think about it. All men are fucking predators, and y'all the fucking prey. We sit back and listen to all the shit y'all women be.
What did I say? I said that what? All men are predators. Yeah.
Talking about, and we use it to our advantage. So we say and do whatever the fuck we gotta do to get the coochie. We lie. That's all we do is lie. Y'all really think y'all man?
Oh, I said what? All they do is lie.
Tell me y'all the truth? Okay. If you a thick girl, go in there and ask your man, does this outfit make me look smaller? See what the fuck you say. You really think you're gonna say, nah, I don't really see a difference. You still look same thick to me. But your bra strap is a little tight in the back, so it look like you got titties in the back. And the way you tuck your gut in that pants, it look like you got titties and ass in the front and the back. You really think that man gonna tell you the truth? I don't give a fuck how good of a man he is. I don't give a fuck how genuine his heart is. I don't give a fuck he do for you and don't ask you for shit. He still trying to. And after you give us some of that Kim Cooter, we're gonna switch up because we got what the fuck we came for. Anyway, y'all do what y'all want with that info. I'm going to take a dookie. Bye, bitch.
Come on within. You'll not see nothing like.
He said that men don't care about marriage. They only care about sex. He is right, but not 100%.
Now, what he was saying about the dress thing, this is how you know they hate women, okay? Because there's a way to tell somebody that their outfit doesn't look good on them, right? That is kind. But they don't know how to do that because they hate you so much. They don't know how to do that because they hate you so much. Do you really think that if you go shopping with your best friend, or with a friend, that they're going to have you walking out of there looking like a fool because you bought all the wrong clothes because they told you, yeah, all the wrong clothes look good on you? No, of course they would, they would tell you, no, that one doesn't look good. That doesn't look good. Why did he have to make that a thing? Because every time they're asked this question, it shows that women want them to show their kindness. Women are asking them to be kind. They despise it as much as they despise women. They despise being kind to women. That's why he's bringing that up. Every time you ask your man, how do you look? You are seeking his kindness. Because you have never ever in your life gone to someone, a frenemy, and be like, how do I look? You have never ever done that because your brain is working correctly in that regard. Because your brain is unright. And when you go to these creatures, because you think that they like you, this is what they're thinking. This is what they are thinking. These men do not like you. These men do not like you. Oh my God, Jesus Christ. I don't know how to make people get it.
We lie. That's all we do is lie. Y'all really think?
Anyway, this is a, yeah, I mean, you said a lot to unpack, but he said a lot to unpack because you have in here is both is all of, you know, the violence, the hate, the evil, and everything in between of what these males are. In this rant of his, it's all of that and more. And I really, really hope y'all can see it. I really, really hope you can see it because it is piercing me when I listen to him. But I feel like it's because I know what they really are, which you might not necessarily know. Because how fucking dare this creature exists in our world so that he can say this shit to us? Die, motherfucker, die! I don't really mean that. Oh my God. Well, I'm gonna end it there.
Ain't y'all man telling y'all the truth?